A former college swimmer and activist against transgender athletes in women's sports says she was attacked at San Francisco State.
Video shows Riley Gaines being escorted by police and surrounded by protesters after she gave a speech at the university last night. The former college athlete was invited to talk by the university's chapter of Turning Point USA.
Well, tonight, Gaines and trans rights activists are speaking out about the event and the protest. Our current correspondent Dan Thorn live for us in the studio with more on this story. Dan?
Well, Riley Gaines says that she was ambushed and physically hurt at San Francisco State by trans activists. The former college swimmer has been speaking at colleges all across the country about keeping trans women out of women's sports. Videos from the school's newspaper, Golden Gate Express, show strong reaction to last night's speech. The university now says the situation is under investigation. Former college swimmer Riley Gaines being chased away and shouted at by trans activists after an event at San Francisco State University. Gaines was on campus to deliver a speech about keeping trans women out of women's sports. Gaines claims she was mobbed and physically assaulted. In a statement sent to Cron 4 News, Gaines says the pendulum has swung too far. We shouldn't be put in danger because we want our sports to be safe and fair. Videos shared by student-run paper Golden Gate Express do not appear to show Gaines being hit. The university's police department says an investigation is underway, but there were no arrests related to the event. Gaines has been a vocal critic of trans women being included in women's sports, following a fifth-place tie with transgender swimmer Leah Thomas at last year's NCAA swimming and diving championships.
I do think that an all-out ban on trans people from being able to participate in sports is unfair and violates Title IX. I think our community is entitled to those same protections and should not be discriminated against.
Chair of the San Francisco Democrats and trans activist Honey Mahogany says the climate right now is dangerous for trans people. She's on board with an exchange of ideas, especially on college campuses, but also says people like Gaines are distracting from the real issues.
It does seem like many of these conservative voices are seeking conflict out, seeking to have their message heard in places where they feel like there will be a lot of protest.
After being held in a room for some time, Gaines was eventually escorted off of campus by police just before midnight. Gaines's agent, Eli Bremer, is calling for any student who was violent to be expelled and prosecuted. We've reached out to San Francisco State's Queer and Trans Resource Center for a response to last night's protest of Gaines. As of this report, they have no comment. In studio, Dan Thorn, Cron 4 News.